Sean Puffy Combs allegedly blowing up a rival's car is now making headlines yet again, along with allegations of extreme volatility and violence, not only in his personal life, but his professional life as well. One claim in an older lawsuit, for example, says that he and a female companion who filed this lawsuit, they were sitting around at his home in Los Angeles doing substances when a security staff member bursts in and says, "Hey, Suge Knight, he's been spotted in a nearby restaurant." So according to the lawsuit, Sean Puffy Combs hurriedly gets dressed. He gathers up a number of pow-pows in his home, and he heads toward Mel's, hoping that he can confront Suge Knight. Now, Sean Puffy Combs thought he could shut this down, too. He tried to keep it out of the courtroom by settling, and you had people sound off then saying, you know what, he's a fool if he thinks this is behind him. It's only the beginning. Now we've seen where it's gone. So I want to talk about these specific type of allegations here. Allegations that were supported in some instances, by the way. I mean, with the car blowing up, for example, you actually had the spokeswoman for the person that this happened to come out and say, yeah, this is all true, backing that up. But even more alarming is what he allegedly did to other rivals that included Tupac. You and I, we're going to talk about this stuff here today. Yeah, this stuff, it is crazy times, too. It is crazy times indeed. All right, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. So after Sean Combs' house was raided by the police, I mean, the floodgates, they have opened. And I mean, everything has come spilling out. And one item that is being looked at quite a bit yet again is this lawsuit against Sean Combs and Bad Boy Entertainment from Cassandra Ventura. This was filed in New York. Now, the allegations in this document alone are fascinating because they not only deal with interpersonal claims of violence, but they talk about Mr. Combs' rise to fame, and his rise to fame being intensely violent. What started as a whirlwind of celebrity meetings and substance-fueled parties quickly turned frightening and violent. Miss Ventura, and remember, she's not only a person making allegations, but that somebody that Sean Combs apparently feared enough that he wanted to settle within 24 hours of this stuff hitting the media, was also exposed to the intense violence, not violence, intense violence that pervaded Mr. Combs' rise to fame. For example, on one occasion, when Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura were using substances together in his home, one of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs began to get dressed, retrieved multiple pow-pows from his safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was dining. Miss Ventura was terrified and began to cry. I mean, think about that. Think of how secure you are in your actions, that you could get away with it, that you would run out of your home armed, thinking that you could take down rivals. Now, this continues by saying that on at least 2 occasions, so at least 2 occasions, Mr. Combs, he demanded that Miss Ventura hold his pow-pow in her purse. Now, she says that she has no familiarity whatsoever with said pow-pows and was petrified that that would end up going off in her purse. She also says that there was no clear reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold these, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, that he was powerful, and that he was dangerous. And I would say there would be a clear reason, by the way, and that's so if he's pulled over or he's searched, he's more likely to be able to carry this with impunity. Now, not only have those allegations resurfaced, but there's the allegation of him blowing up a rival's car. Why? Well, that rival was communicating with Miss Ventura, and he didn't like that in 2012. And again, this is just allegation. Want to stress that. During this FO, Mr. Combs found Miss Ventura's phone and found emails between her and Kid Cutie. Mr. Combs became enraged and proceeded to place a manual corkscrew between his fingers and lunged at Miss Ventura. Miss Ventura says that she ran away to stay at Kid Cutie's home to escape Mr. Combs' wrath. Soon thereafter, one of his staff members told her that she needed to quote-unquote just talk to Mr. Combs, even though he was enraged. And she says, I felt like I couldn't escape him. I couldn't escape from his network of enforcers. So she ends up returning to him. Now, she says that all of this culminates in him wanting to send a message to his rival. How is he going to do that? Well, according to her, he's going to blow up the person's car, and does. Quote, February 2012, this is during Paris Fashion Week, Mr. Combs told Miss Ventura that he was going to blow up Kid Cutie's car, and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cutie was home with his friends when it happened. So, that want to send a message, want to make sure that they understand message received. Around that time, she says, Kid Cutie's car exploded in his driveway. She said that she was terrified by this too, as she began to fully comprehend what Mr. Combs was both willing and able to do to those he believed had slighted him. Now, the police raids plus those allegations have brought renewed interest to the subject of Tupac. I mean, you're talking rivals, you're talking about Suge Knight, you're talking about the willingness to blow up someone's car. So how far would Puff Daddy allow this stuff to go? You have the arrest of Dwayne Davis. Now, Dwayne Davis, if you haven't heard about him, he was the only surviving member of the 4 Southside Crips who allegedly killed Tupac in a drive-by shooting just off the Vegas Strip, September 1996. Now, Davis says that he had known Combs for years. He started out working security for bad boy artists. He had actually met him through a substance dealer, let's say. Now, Davis alleges that a year into this security gigs, he's approached by Sean Combs with a much more daunting request. I have a couple of problems I need to be handled. Big CEO, that would be Suge Knight, and Tupac. And Davis reportedly told him that's not a problem. We can make that happen. Now, reportedly in the aftermath, Davis was asked by Combs, was that us? Did we do that? And he replied, yes, that it was. He says that Combs was happy as hell about that answer, but Davis states the $1 million there he was promised it never materialized, and that meeting Puffy has been like a bad dream from which I'm still trying to wake up. Now, there are a lot of other allegations about Sean Puff Daddy Combs as well. If you want to hear some of those, let me know in the comments. I might do another video on this, but I mean, this stuff is wild when you go through it. I mean, for years, you have memoirs written about him. You've had multiple lawsuits. You have police raids. I mean, there's so much out there that's being alleged right now. But let me know what you think about this. As always, too, appreciate you being here. Thank you. Can't say that enough. Want to help out the channel? Links are in the description. Going to end here, though. Thanking you. See you soon.